All right, hey, we're back for the last bit here, the last 40 minutes. So you kind of head down this entire line where you can see that this like dock area actually is like pretty massive. That it seems to have a large number of these stalls that are spread out in all different areas for all different sizes of creatures and all kinds of... It seems to be like sharks. You actually do see an occasional like whale. And for the whales, you actually see what looks to be like these large kind of almost like boxes of like glass that almost have these little like air pockets on the top of them. Where like the whales can kind of get up into. Where it's like maybe they use magic to maintain the air there.
Well, whales need to breathe.
Yeah. So it seems like they have a number of like whales. Like it looks like there's one person that has like a big old sperm whale. Something like a large blue whale. It's Dominaria, so there's totally goddamn toothed whale still around. You know, it's freaking Magic World. Some say there is one. So it's really nasty looking, like one of those like long snouted toothed whales that are prehistoric. That thing looks just pleasant looking. I talked about the big Leviathan that was there. Like, it's basically a kraken in one of them too. So you go by a whole lot of like there's of course a bunch of these sharks and stuff and a bunch of empty stalls, and there's like a lot of the whale. It has like stuff strapped to its back and like containers that seem to be made of like not wood, but it looks like they're made of like almost like a coral material that like they're making into crates and stuff. I did almost say Carl. I said coral. So I said it like in a weird way.
Stop making boxes out of me!
I almost did like the bad making fun of The Walking Dead, like coral. Yeah. Coral. That isn't what I went for. It's coral. Thank you. Because, so they look like it's still like a stone, but it's like a lighter stone material that they're kind of like... It seems to be made out of like this like almost intricate web of it and contain materials within it. These intricate web of like coral boxes that are kind of being unloaded. There are of course like a number of like smaller fish in the area. Things that would probably be like man-sized, maybe larger, that seem to be like moving things that they like attach them to it, almost like pack animals, but much smaller. And in fact, you do see that there's a number of guards in the area too. You see actually knights on massive seahorses. Like would be akin to like an actual like horse kind of seahorses.
I just want to know what the heck this city eats.
You.
Good.
I think I'd be a snack, at best.
That's you'd probably be like an amoeba in comparison.
That's the real reason why our party was brought here, to feed the giant Leviathan.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would eat a whale before us.
It can turn into a giant.
You don't know. Maybe it feeds on something akin to plankton, and you are totally plankton.
Fuck.
Spooky.
Forgot that I'm part plankton on my mom's side.
Is that what goblins are actually made out of?
Mm-hmm. We're not actually organisms. We're just a bunch of krill in a trench coat.
For some reason, this sounds about right, but I'm just going to go along with it. Eventually, you will get to the area where it looks like there's actually an opening in the back of this kind of building. As I said, it kind of like... You've got it more open towards where all the things are docking in, where you can get the current kind of going by. And the back, it's like a... You've got a roof and a back wall, and of course the floor, which is the scaling. And you're not even sure where the sides are, because it's like stretching a good chunk of like the animal. So it goes like maybe like 1,000 feet on one side of this thing. So there's like countless stalls. But kind of in the middle, you will find, and you were put like on the one, almost probably towards the one side closer to the end, you'll find a kind of opening that leads into a kind of walkway where you can see the tunnel goes for a while in front of you when you kind of make this right turn here. And you can see that leads out into the city proper. Of course, there's smaller tunnels off to the side that seem to go into this kind of back building, which is that kind of mimics the entire area here. When you kind of notice that, you also notice that some of the crates are actually be taken up to these walls, and these walls that look to be made of like maybe like shaped scale almost. Like someone moves part out of the way, and you're like, oh god, there's a door there. You didn't even notice that there was a door there as they move crates to this one area.
Well, I guess we'll go up. We'll follow our directions and knock on the door.
Okay. There isn't a door.
Oh.
It's just kind of like an opening to like a little office area. There might be a door out of here. You can't tell. It's like this. It looks to be like almost this shaped like bone or scale. This entire area that it looks almost like smooth, like as if it maybe grew this way. It's the kind of strange way it looks. So there's like furniture in here that looks almost built into the area, like a kind of desk area, with little like seats. They're not chairs. They're like almost like little like what we akin to like a hassock or a stool. Where you see a number of individuals are kind of like sitting on their tails, kind of waiting there. As there's this like merfolk woman who looks more on the human side. She actually has like a pair of like spectacles on, but you're not sure that they actually have glass in them or not.
Hello.
Yes. Oh.
We...
Travelers. Yeah. Oh, I was told about you. Are you here to put in more money for your vessel?
Yes.
Alright, well, you're gonna have to, get in line.
Line? Excuse me, madam. Perhaps I can, I think we're a bit more of the, not line sort, if you catch my drift.
She's just kind of do the kind of finger, like, push the glasses up the nose kind of thing, and then kind of...
I'm just gonna put a hand on you and be like...
No. I brandish a gold to get us to the front of the line.
Are you trying to bribe us, sir?
No.
That depends. Is it working?
Fuck.
I take a step back from him now.
Back of the line.
Well, it was worth a shot.
Was it?
Yeah, I mean, what? Only chumps wait in line.
You may have just insulted her. We gotta remember different cultures.
You're a guest.
I thought it was universal that people don't want to go to the back of the line.
Bribery isn't universal.
I'd say as a merchant, I would say otherwise.
Depends on your bureaucrats too, because she seems more bureaucrat than merchant. So
That's
depends
fair.
on your bureaucrat.
Yeah.
She will deal with the two others that were waiting in line for you. One of them seems to be bringing in some kind of shipment and needs some approval forms. Apparently they're bringing in like a shipment of some kind of live creatures. The next one will actually be having a large discussion about proper parking and maintenance. And it seems like their creature was injured and needs some medical attention, and will be taking some time and pay for that. And after about, I'd say about 20 minutes of some bureaucratic nonsense for these two people, you will be asked to come up. This way.
We meet again.
Your escort will just stand there stoically. It's this this merfolk man who's dressed in like I would call it like a light armor almost. It looks to be similar to that like outfit of the leather, but it's also like accented with like, it looks like almost like bone or coral like bone spines, almost like fish spines. So that makes it almost look like maybe something akin to leather, like studded leather. So, who is paying the money? How many more days?
I'll look back at Nim.
Oh, yes. Well, I'd like to extend our stay. I believe you said we agreed upon with the Dockmaster 2 silver a day. Well then, here is 5 gold. That should be good for, 25 days for us. I don't know if we're going to stay that entire time, but I'm just banking on that we need to stay for a while.
It's a long time, Nim.
I'm overestimating.
By how much?
I don't know.
Okay.
We're supposed to meet with an emperor, and I don't know when he's arriving.
Well, as long as you're paying the bill, it's fine with me.
Well, apparently we get the free board in the diplomatic section as long as we're probably nice. We might have to pay something in the diplomatic section. I don't know. We'll have to find out if there's an in cost.
Oh boy.
They might only provide rooms, not board.
Fair.
Well then, sir. The one dressed in like this studded leather, effectively, will kind of like look towards Nim when he says something. We're ready to keep going. He'll just shake his head and start swimming off, leading you.
I will swim after.
I'll walk.
I'll walk.
I'll walk.
Is someone
Pushing
driving
Carrie in
Carrie?
front of me.
Carrie, it continues to feel really unnatural. It just feels so weird. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hate it.
Mm-hmm. Going beyond this building into the city proper, you're going to see these massive structures. As I said, these large buildings that seem to be made up of like a back fin shaped into buildings, along with these like kind of like smaller like kind of dorsal areas that kind of mimic it, but also have like massive size. You can tell that the largest portion of the central like fin is maybe like a couple 100 feet tall. It is massive. And the thing is, it's a structure that's bigger than what you are, but it seems like it's naturally built into here. And then there's all these smaller buildings that seem to be made out of, like, larger scales that are kind of built into the entire thing. It all seems like it's this shaped naturally, but yet it's strange because everything seems like it's made of this creature and looks like if it almost grew in. You don't see any signs of anything, like... What's the great...
Any carvings?
Carving, yeah. It all seems like it's naturally like this. There's these kind of, like, deep blue to the color of everything, with this kind of swath of, like, painted, like, almost this glowing paint that seems to exist throughout everything, of this kind of, like, yellowish, that, like, all this incredible, like, decorations are made with all these kind of interesting symbolisms that almost... It's art, but it's very symbolic art, and none of you can really tell what it means. It's very interpretive. You can see all the buildings kind of emanate from their open windows, just this glow to them too, giving it with a similar color, actually, giving the entire place this kind of like unnatural glow to it that makes the back of this creature feel alive. Like it's got glowing spines that throw everything. You'll be kind of led through these kind of twisting streets. The streets aren't like perfectly like symmetrical, because everything in here is just almost built into the nature of it. So the streets ourselves kind of curve and wind. Again, like they're not like truly built in it. It's almost as if like they're like smaller areas of scales, or maybe with larger like back armor has been almost removed to create these kind of like etches in it. Like you're in between scales to create the street themselves. There's merfolk all around. It is a bustling city. You can see that there's a number of buildings which seem to be pertained, especially near to this dock area, to travelers. some businesses. Again, like the symbolism on the shops, you can't really get it unless you get close to them. There are places, where you can see, like, there's a clothing shop here. There's a bar there. You're guessing something might be an inn, but it's really hard to tell. Here's a place that seems to be making all kinds of little pieces of art. This kind of strange main thoroughfare that kind of heads what looks to be like in between this crack and this large like kind of break in the massive fins kind of from the side, has all kinds of interesting little shops and places that you could stop by. It does take you quite a bit of time to go through here, and Nim will actually refresh his spell before you get to where you need to go. But to one of the large spines, maybe not the largest dorsal spine, but like one of the secondary ones, is the building you're going to go into. And as you can see, it seems to be this massive, almost honeycomb, where you can see where there's like this much larger etching of that kind of glowing material to give it this kind of like a massive kind of symbolism that seems to represent perhaps this creature here, maybe Vidalia in some kind of way. But also you can see these kind of small portholes leading into various rooms and places. You'll be led inside into what could be described as a massive, maybe check-in station, maybe like hotel area. It's really hard to tell, as there is kind of like this, it's like desk area, but the desk area is kind of like, it's not just coming from the floor. It's coming from the ceiling and the floor. So it kind of like goes down both directions to leave a kind of like middle area where you can see into those that are inside it. The man in the kind of leathers will kind of move up and be like, "We have some folks for the diplomatic quarter." There's a female merfolk behind there, very kind of, looks almost like has like a look of like maybe a tropical fish, like to her, kind of very fishy, but something with very bright colors. Maybe akin to something like, I can't think of a good fish right now. She'll kind of look at all of you and be like, "For staying in the diplomatic quarters, it will be 5 gold per individual. There's no set amount of time for staying in the quarters. They are free to yours after that. Food will be provided. Just, if you're staying longer than a month, it will require another 5 gold."
It's a good bargain. Wow.
I look at Nim.
Yeah, we ain't footing this.
Nim will fit the bill.
Well, that's how it's been. Nim's foot the bill every time.
He
How
does.
much money does this man actually have?
You have no clue.
He's hundreds of years old and has a lot of wealth.
Thousands of years.
Sorry,
Remember,
thousands of years.
he has stated that he will live much longer than an average elf. Maybe like 4 or 5 times. A elf can live up towards of 1,000 years, and when he said, "I can live 4 or 5 times that amount of time," yeah.
Okay, yeah. He's a few thousand years old. I'm
What
sure
exactly
he's
is
acquired
preventing us from just mugging him?
We won't
He's
get
a
paid.
few thousand years old.
He's
So he-
very powerful.
Yeah, he could
Okay,
kick
all
our
right,
ass.
all right. I just had to pitch the idea, all right?
He's probably forgotten more spells and levels than we have all combined.
You probably like pitched the idea while we were going insane in that Leviathan like submarine on the way here. Like, smug him. That's like so much easier.
Why go on this journey? Just take his money.
You get the feeling he doesn't actually need bodyguards. He just found you interesting.
Yeah.
He just wants the
Yeah,
company.
no, I asked him that, I'm pretty sure, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like, "You don't need us." And he was like, "No, I just find you interesting."
But travel companions.
Yeah, it's effectively what you are. Some travel companions. He's like, "I'll pay for some travel companions."
Basically, he's paid for friendship.
Cute.
Did he pay the dragon lady?
You have no idea.
Well, that would be one way to bribe a dragon. Give her some horde. Give her a horde.
So, you'll be led over. A man from somewhere, like a merfolk man from one of the sides of the area here, will come over and like kind of take over from the man, the one that was accompanying you in the kind of studded fish leather, and who's going to go back out to the city.
I'll just say as he leaves, thank you.
They'll just kind of like kind of nod his head a little bit and head off. Enjoy your stay. He'll lead you over to this kind of like strange tube almost, where like he'll kind of like make some motions, like he'll almost like cast a spell and touch one of like there's these like two crystals on either side. You'll see he'll touch the one, and this flow of water will start going up.
Ooh.
Get in. You will be getting off at the 10th level.
Okay. Thank you. I'll step in first since I actually can swim.
Mm-hmm. It's like an upward jet that's meant to like take you up to a point in time.
Yeah.
It seems as though that he actually had the magic and like used the thing, like he knows how to use it. That he said that it will take you up to like this level where you can see like 10 written above it, where it's just another opening out of this kind of like tube.
I will swim out.
We out.
Yep. So each of you will kind of like head up into that, and you'll find yourself in this room that actually is a kind of a small room with a staircase leading up and out. It's the first staircase you've seen at all in this area. At most, like, when you've seen signs of other floors, it's just like a ramp.
Probably because this is the diplomatic area meant for water breathers.
Air breathers.
Oh, I meant here. Yeah.
Breather.
You can see that the staircase leads up into the air.
I will swim up and then change towards the top.
Okay. Yeah. You'll actually be granted by a human woman. Oh! Hi! I got a message you were coming. So, hello! Welcome!
And she sees a fish person turn into a human.
Holy crap! You're an odd bunch. Oh,
I did a skeleton follow-up.
This poor woman.
And then
A very tasty
And then a
lady.
goblin
Look,
and a demon.
I am here to help you out all I can.
And an angel.
Oh, yeah, a demon and an angel.
Oh my. My name is Leyland. I will be your go-between between folks here. Yes, I am human, and yes, I do live on the bottom of the sea in a giant back of a giant fish. There are a number of us here that live down here in various places. Some of us, like myself, I have to say, if you're asking questions before asking them, I get these a lot, don't worry. I was technically descended from some slaves that were taken back in the old days, but nowadays, Vidali is a much more open place, so we have found freedom, and therefore we do find places. In this case, diplomatic services is a very good job. I pretty much live in here, so I will be here with you. I have my own quarters. I have, if you need help magically to travel in the city, I can provide for things. We do have some magic devices which could allow for you to travel in the city. They are for rent, though, or purchase, but they are quite expensive. I will note that. Other than that, I can show you to your quarters. Are you looking for individual quarters? We currently are not very well filled up, so we do have space if you want to go for individual quarters. We only currently have 3 individuals staying here at the moment, other than myself. But if you want group quarters, I can also arrange that.
I think, I think individual
quarters, I can also arrange that.
I think individual after our trip would be nice.
Yes.
If the need arises that you do get more guests and we need to bunk together, that will not be a problem.
Great. Well, right this way. She'll show you to each of your rooms. So each of these rooms seem to actually be set out with a view of the water. The thing is, like, it doesn't have a glass window. Like, when you touch it, it almost just feels like you're touching the edge of a bubble. Yeah. But
this is bad for Carrie.
Yeah.
This is bad for Carrie.
Don't burst your bubble.
The lights in here, you can notice, seem to be these kind of like almost aquariums with these little glowing shrimp.
They must glow pretty bright, man.
Mm-hmm. There seems to be like a little pool down near the one wall where you can put down like this almost shade over top of it that kind of pulls from the ceiling if you want to block the lights. You need some darkness in the room. You can tell like everything in here seems to be shaped from that same kind of like bone-ish material that everything makes of. So this looks like it's carved like almost flawlessly into the fin of something. Like there's furniture. Each of the rooms has like a little kitchenette area. Granted, it doesn't... so what it has is it's got like a bed with some basically furnishing. It's got like a feather pillow and some like cloth sheets, probably imported. You know, just something nice. They're not great. They're fine. You know, they're kind of average quality, I'd say. Probably if you were an actual diplomat, you might get something a little nicer.
I could be a diplomat. They never ask. I'm not. They don't know that.
You're a diplomat from shit.
You have diplomatic papers.
No.
Do you have forgery?
That's one of the few tools I don't have proficiency with.
Each room has like a set of drawers that seem to actually, like, again, everything seems to be built off of the floor. So things are, like, attached. There's no moving this furniture. The drawers come out, but they seem to be the only thing that, like, comes out, partially out of this, like, drawers built into the floor. Each room is probably, like, I'd say, like, a two-room kind of apartment kind of thing. So it's kind of, like, got a back area where the bed is, where the window is, and then it's kind of got a front area where they got, like, a little, like, table for you to sit at. And what could be akin to like a little kitchenette. It has like a like she'll explain everything to you. It has a little kitchen area. If you have any kind of fire magic, you are able to use the kitchenette area. Fires can't really be lit down here very easily, but there's a special stone which they have built into an area there that absorbs fire spells. It will heat something up. Effectively, it's like a stovetop.
I have a
I
question.
won't be cooking.
Are the shrimp edible?
They technically might be. From what I've heard, they are, contain something in them that's not necessarily poisonous in small degrees, but in large degrees it can be. So tiny poisonous, not really good for you. They're used in a lot of things. I wouldn't recommend eating them. It's also not actually accessible. If you notice that there's actually this kind of tube that goes up into the ceiling that actually goes up into an area. That's why the floors are quite large in between them, if you hadn't noticed out in the tube. There's actually like an entire like upper structure above every floor that maintains them, at least in this area. Some of the other floors have various different uses, but there's kind of like a structure that keeps the shrimp supplied. Like a little feeder in each of these rooms that lures them into this area. And effectively, they have various, like a main breeding tank that it leads into. So it actually doesn't open up into the room here. You'd have to break the glass and spill a lot of water and flood yourself. There are enchantments on the room that if something happens and water spills in, your door will seal off. So I will warn you about that.
Oh, okay. All right.
If you feel it, the bubble is actually a type of magic. If you've ever heard of a force wall, it's akin to that. So it is very difficult to break, but not impossible. So I'd be careful with it. Just don't... Most average things you do with it, touching it, feeling it, it won't break. It doesn't really stretch very well. It feels kind of weird. I haven't played around with the windows before. But powerful magics might do it, so I would avoid using any powerful magics in your room. Because it also can break it. Again, enchantment that if water starts, door seals off.
Right. Okay. Good to know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Don't flood yourself.
I'll try.
If there's any other questions, I'm down the hall. My room is marked. Kind of in the middle, right across from where you entered into. If you want to head into the city, again, either of you could use your own magics, or you could arrange to rent or buy a special thing to help you breathe and travel underwater here. We do have some available. If you had diplomatic papers, which I think none of you technically have, you can get one for free for one of your members.
Thank you.
But that's still also borrowing it until you leave, may I note. There is a mealtime. Down the hall there is some open areas. There's a small area for sportsman games and exercise. And next to it there's a small cafeteria area. Dining room cafeteria area. It's fine. We get some food in. We have a proper chef that can use the materials in there. Cook some nice stuff. We do import some land food occasionally. Most of it is, of course, preserved, so it does take it's not going to be perfect. Dried fruits, vegetables, and stuff like that. Various dried meats, plenty of fish. If you like kelp, we have plenty of that too. The kelp farms are always going. Anyway, as are the fish farms. So, that's everything. I'm going to leave all of you to your nice rooms, and just let me know if I can help you. Enjoy your stay here.
Real quick, do you know anything about the other people? You said there were 3 other individuals?
Yes. Well, I don't know if I should really say, but there are 2 diplomats and a scholar here. You would have to introduce yourself to them at dinner, probably.
All right.
They might not want to deal with other travelers, so I'm not going to, force an introduction. Up to you on that one, all right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. And she'll leave you. And then, why don't we leave it off here that you've arrived at Slinn Voda, and you're in a bubble.
We're in a bubble.
Yep.
Hey,
Bubble
bubble
boys.
boys.
You're on the
Hey,
back
Carrie,
of a jet.
scholar.
What?
I said, hey, Carrie, scholar.
Yeah, scholar.
Books
Karen's still focusing on the fact that if water leaks in, the door will seal?
Yes, I'm trying to get your brain off of that and go, he might have books.
That doesn't help.
Hey, Carrie, I'll sleep in the same room as you. We can, if we die together.
God.
Suicide pact. Death pact? Death pact.
So-
We're not trying to kill each other, just if we
yes.
die, we die. But together. Always.
You've arrived in the back of Slinn Voda, and it's quite a place to be at. Insanely...
Life sucks.
And all of you are settling in quite nicely. So, next week we'll see how things go. And if an emperor shows up anytime soon, or if you do anything in the city, you got a little bit of sight of it. it's a really nice looking place. Pretty hopping, pretty busy.
Pretty hopping.
Yeah. There seems to be a
I don't
pretty
think you really
thriving
hop.
population of merfolk here. Maybe, again, like, a city on the back of a Leviathan probably isn't the most populous city you could find anywhere, but this one seems to have a decent number of merfolk here to, you know, gawk at you.
And folk.
And of course, you're in a massive, like, probably 20-floor tower of bone structure, where you're not sure what else is on the other floors, but 10th floor, diplomats.
So we're boned. Got it.
Yep. Anyway.
Fun.
So, why don't we give shout-outs to who people are, where to find you, and all that kind of stuff as we end out today. Let us, of course, go the opposite of the normal Magic color spectrum and start with Carrion, starting with green.
Hi, I'm here.
Mads. Yeah, Mads.
Hi, I'm Mads and I'm here. I'm also Carrie,
Mhm.
believe it or not.
And we'll move on to the player who plays Kazarin with Fish and Red.
Hi, I'm Fish. You can find me out back of your local Denny's.
What are you doing there?
Excuse me.
I know.
Are you just hanging out back at every Denny's?
Yeah. No, just your local one.
I
Denny's
was
is
the
great,
ones in PA.
There is some, like, near to us, but it's, like, up in Allentown.
And that's where I am.
Yeah. Man, we have to go...
Specifically out back of it.
Man. If it wasn't temporarily closed. We'll move on, though, to...
That's why he's out back.
See? We'll move on to our black card and Maxwell with Lee.
Hey guys, I'm Just Lee Belmont, your noble vampire hunter. I stream on Twitch. I do a whole lot of speedruns. I'm currently doing a speedrun challenge where I try to learn 100 games total by the end of the year, and I'm at 85. Only 15 more to go.
You went so quick into that number.
I did, yeah, because I did like a bunch of like shorter games last weekend. I did like 5 in 2 days. So, frick me.
Yeah. Yeah, then we'll move on, of course, to our blue card with Claude and Joe.
Yep. I'm Joe. You'll find me here on Sansa's channel. I will see everyone Saturday for some discussing tabletop.
Cool. And, of course, we'll end up with our white card with Wintress and Lindsay.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. I don't do much, but you can probably find me hanging out with Just Lee Belmont. Maybe not. I'll never hang out with him again.
Aww.
Man, we were doing voice acting not too long ago. What do you mean? Some people.
Mm-hmm. And, of
You're
course,
cute.
I am your
cute.
noble and powerful dungeon master, Tantasnara Van Dracovin. You can find me here on this channel pretty often during the week. If you're looking for more role-playing stuff, of course, you can check us out next week. Same time, same place, 8 p.m. EST, for more Children of Rath, where they'll continue their adventures here on Slinn Voda, the merfolk city on the back of Leviathan. Or if you want to see some other stuff, on Tuesday I have 2 games at 10 a.m. I have Records of Evil, the Lawful Evil D&D game, and at 2 p.m., that's, again, all EST in the afternoon, I've got Legacies of Kain, the Vampire the Masquerade game, where they blew up a hotel in Hawaii. That's fun.
Oh, is that how that ended? Nice.
The hotel they were in didn't blow up. They went with another vampire to assassinate someone, and that guy blew up the motel that guy was lured to. And then they got into this drop-down, beat-up fight with this guy who basically was a combat monster to a degree, and they managed to defeat him. So it was pretty epic.
Interesting.
Pretty epic. Pretty epic indeed. And then, yeah. If you're looking for more gaming, I'll probably do some gaming stream tomorrow. Other big things, discussing tabletop Saturday, 2 p.m. EST, and then at 4, I'll be doing some Divinity Original Sin 2, where we roleplay our characters. There's 4 of us streaming, and we roleplay our characters because that's a silly thing to do.
And then not this Sunday, but the next Sunday,
grinding gears.
We will be doing grinding gears, which will see what character developments have happened with the new level up, as they are taking some things in the dark matter universe.
That'll be a neat one. So yeah, lots of stuff on the channel. Hopefully you check it out. But regardless, though, we're going to pop on out here. Have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your Thursday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and yeah, hopefully we'll all see everybody here next week. Yes, Jedi Cat. Goddamn. I want you to be a Jedi Cat. You have a light sword, and I want you to take the thing where you got force powers. God damn it. Be a Jedi Cat.
No Jedi Cat.
No, Jedi Cat. Tabaxi Jedi. God damn it. Be one. Anyway, bye everyone.
Bye.